Gine, it seems you've actually gotten stronger. I like it. Hey guys, Ryan here, and welcome to another dose of What If Madness. This time we are continuing with so far the most watched What If discussion I do on this channel. That is, what if Bardock stopped Lord Freeza? I can't say I blame you, because I really love this story too. It's gone from the simple Bardock unifying the Saiyan race and taking out Freeza with a combined ki blast generated by the Great Ape transformation, to also a heartwarming story between mother and son, Gine and Kakarot. So, let's get in there and continue this. Now, like I just said, in this story, Bardock was able to stop Frieza's genocide on the Saiyan race by unifying the Saiyans, having them all transform into Great Apes, and via a combined Great Ape Ki Blast at the evil Emperor. Lord Freeza was destroyed in the blast. He couldn't transform into his final form in order to stop the attack. He just wasn't quick enough. And, of course, that eventually led to Bardock being more praised among the Saiyans, and King Vegeta getting a bit jealousy to the point where he strikes a deal with King Cold, which goes south because, remember, Bardock has his foresight and sees exactly what King Vegeta was going to do, and the cowardice of the king pushed Bardock to new heights as he unlocks the transformation of Super Saiyan, and ultimately puts an end to the traitor king, and of course goes on and also puts an end to King Cold, rescuing his older son Raditz, Prince Vegeta, and Nappa in the process. And meanwhile, Gine went to Earth looking for their youngest son, Kakarot, the one they had to send off-world in case they failed to stop Lord Freeza. And for the most part, Gine always remained a step behind her son because he had his bump on the head, forgotten who his real parents were, and the whole adventure of Dragon Ball began. Gine didn't find Kakarot or Goku until the Tenkaichi Budokai, when Goku has his fight with Jackie Chan. And that is the first time Gine got to see her son again, but Goku just wouldn't sit still for 5 minutes and kept running off. And poor Gine had to keep following. And most of Dragon Ball pretty much played out per normal, with a couple of extra Gine bits in there, right up through to the King Piccolo saga, where Gine actually helps the Z Warriors stop King Piccolo, and actually steps back and lets her son ultimately finish the deed, because she doesn't want to affect her son's growth at all. And remember, she was keeping her identity a secret from Goku because she wanted to make a more informed choice on whether or not it was actually a good idea to bring Kakarot back to planet Vegeta, or is it best that he just stays on planet Earth with his new family, who clearly love him. And after Goku defeats King Piccolo, Gine has come to her decision. She then reveals to Goku who she really is. That she was his mother. That she is his mother, I should say. And of course, that's all emotional. Goku is happy. He finally gets to meet his mother, although kind of obvious, you know, the tail. But Goku's never really been the brightest one of the bunch. And Gine had to lay the hard truth that it is now time for her to go back so she can help her father Bardock restore the honor of the Saiyan race and rid the universe of the Freeza force once and for all. And as that's about to happen, they still got to deal with the immediate crisis on how do they get Master Roshi, Chaozu, and Krillin resurrected now that the Eternal Dragon is destroyed. And well, that answer is about to come, because suddenly, back on Roshi's island, they're all sitting there discussing it. Suddenly, a lightning bolt from the sky hits the ground, revealing this being, a very familiar looking being. In fact, he looks a lot like King Piccolo, much like he used to look like before he used the Dragon Balls to restore his youth. And of course, Goku, and pretty much everybody mistake him from King Piccolo, and everyone's charging this mysterious being. Of course, it's Kami. And Kami just basically knocks them all away with a flick of his energy, which is pretty cool. And he reveals the truth that his name is in fact Kami, and that him and Piccolo were once one being. He created the Dragon Balls and all that, and he's willing to allow the Earthlings to use the Dragon Balls to resurrect their friends, but on one condition. Gine and Goku go to the lookout with him in order to do some training, because Kami is aware that Piccolo Jr. is around, that King Piccolo spawned an egg before his death, and Piccolo Jr. will be there to challenge Goku and Gine at the next Tenkaichi Budokai in 3 short years. And in order to make sure that they are ready for that, they must train at the lookout with him, because Kami can't do it himself. And Gine was supposed to leave the planet. She's supposed to go back to planet Vegeta, but you know, she's not gonna leave her friends on Earth, you know, dead, because that's the conditions of having the Dragon Balls recreated and the dragon resurrected. Kami created the Dragon Balls, he can do that. So Gine agrees to do that, and Goku of course is happy, because this means he gets 3 more years with his mother, who he's only just really officially met. You know, we couldn't really break up the family like that. So there we go. And the dragon is resurrected, Roshi, Krillin, and Chaozu are brought back. And the training between Goku, Gine, training with Kami begins, and the 3 years go by as per normal. Except with the addition that Gine and Goku are pretty much going at it at the lookout at full ball, because Gine is really wanting to bridge the gap between her power level and her son's. Remember, Goku is still considerably weaker, so Gine and Goku are able to train a lot harder, taking advantage of the Zenkai boost. For those who don't know, that is when a Saiyan takes injury and battle damage in battle, and then they heal and they become stronger for it. So they're taking full advantage of that, and sensu beans and all that, and this actually, they're able to bridge Goku's power gap from Gine's power pretty quickly. And now the 3 years have gone by, and it's time for the Tenkaichi Budokai. And throughout, most of the preliminaries play out per normal, except one difference. Gine's entering the tournament as well. Goku and Gine need to make sure that at least one of them faces Piccolo Jr. in the final. And of course Kami is there too, disguised as Hero. And Chaozu does his whole switching the numbers around, so none of the Z Warriors have to really fight each other in the tournament, but because Gine is an extra person, she ends up in the same tournament ring as Chaozu. But, like in the anime, Chaozu is beaten by Tao. Chaozu is eliminated early by Tao, and then eventually Tao ends up fighting Gine, and that is just interesting. That's just interesting because remember, Gine was there when Tao battled with Goku, when Goku beat him during the whole Red Ribbon story arc. Ah, so you're that one who was with that Rugrat who beat me, who did this to me. I will take pleasure in killing you in front of him. She's not talking. She remembers that Tao almost killed her son. Nah, this is personal. And with one strike, Tao is eliminated. In fact, he is flying through the arena wall and into the food stands. And pretty much out of the tournament grounds at all. Is he alive? Yes, so Gine's not disqualified. But, needless to say, Mercenary Tao is not going to be causing any more trouble. And the rest of the preliminaries go on as per normal, and then we get to the round of the finals in the tournament. First match, let's see if I remember this correctly. It is... Yeah, it would have been originally Tien vs Mercenary Tao, but because Mercenary Tao has been defeated, it is now Tien versus Gine in the first round. And it's a pretty good match, but of course Gine is really holding back, because the power difference between Tien and Gine is pretty monstrous, and she's got to reserve her energy for when either her or Goku have to battle with Piccolo Jr. But ultimately, Gine picks up the win. Is Tien disappointed about the loss? No, he actually had a good time fighting Gine, and he knows that Tien knows he's just simply gonna have to work harder so he can improve as well. In the second match, Goku ends up fighting Anonymous, aka Chi-Chi, and that whole chestnut plays out as per normal, with Gine a bit curious to who this person is, because remember, when all of Gine's appearances in Goku's life, she missed out on the little run-ins Goku had with Chi-Chi during their childhood, and that whole thing plays out. That match plays as per normal, Chi-Chi being angry at Goku because Goku does not recognize her, and that whole thing's going. Hey, Miss Anonymous Lady, can you just, tell me what it is I forgot, so I can remember? You promised I'd be your bride! You promised to marry me! And, that whole thing plays out, and of course, Anonymous only agrees to tell Goku who she really is if Goku can defeat her, which of course he does, just like in the anime, and she reveals that she's the Ox King's daughter, Chi-Chi, and Goku ends up proposing to her after the match, just like that. So Gine actually got to witness her son get engaged to the woman he loves. Typical Saiyan. They always go for the strong women. Now, the rest of the semi-finals pretty much play off as per normal, with Yamcha's humiliating defeat against Hero, aka the disguised Kami, and Piccolo Jr. defeats Krillin. And then we move on to the semi-finals, the biggest difference in the semi-finals being that Goku and Gine battle each other in the semi-finals. And that is a pretty intense match, because they're not holding back. Gine's not holding back her power this time. Gine needs to make sure that whoever faces Junior has to be the best person for the job. And it is a pretty good match, and Goku and Gine, they're ultimately having a lot of fun. They're having a lot of fun with this, but ultimately it is Goku who gets the win. Goku has surpassed his mother. And then we've got the match between Kami and Piccolo, and that pretty much plays off per normal. The nameless Namekians, two halves going at it like they're at war with each other. And of course, Kami tries to use the Martha Bar on Piccolo and tries to trap him. But Piccolo is of course ready for this. he's seen this technique enough times to learn how to reverse it. That looks fun. Can I play too? Evil containment wave. Reverse! And he completely reverses it on Kami and captures him in that little bottle, just like it goes in the anime. And then we head to the final match, Goku versus Piccolo, and that plays out exactly the same as it does in the anime, with Goku ultimately getting the win over Junior, and of course he spares Piccolo's life because Goku needs a rival, and Piccolo just fits the bill nicely, and you can already sort of tell Piccolo's not so much the bad guy he used to be. It's, Goku seems to have like a sort of uncanny sense about that sort of things, just like with his son Gohan in the Saiyan arc. And of course, Piccolo gets his bean and pretty much runs off, and he's all like, I'll finish you next time, Goku. And your mother too. And that whole thing happens, and Gine actually does stick around for Goku's wedding to Chi-Chi. But then after that, she says her goodbyes to her son and tells him that now she has to go back to Planet Vegeta and help Bardock restore the honor of the Saiyan race. She's been gone too long as it is. But Goku, he's understanding this time. He's older, more mature, and the thought of a whole planet of warriors who are stronger than him, the whole thing is just a thrill to him. Oh wow, more strong guys for me to fight? I can't wait. The fact that Goku already knows he's a Saiyan, this is going to push Goku to more heights. He's going to be hungry for more training. And he vows to his mother he will keep getting stronger. So, there you have it. And Gine is on her way back to Planet Vegeta. Remember, that's a year trip in her space pod. And, rest assured you, meanwhile on Planet Vegeta, Bardock and his little liberation movement have pretty much got the remaining Freeza force on the run. The Freeza force have suddenly been ordered to retreat. So, have the Saiyans actually won? Or is there something else at play here? But either way, the Saiyans have pretty much done that. And what have they been doing since? Well, they're not getting paid to destroy planets anymore. No, they're getting paid to do the opposite. They're actually getting paid to help out planets who don't have their own security, don't have a formidable military defense. Much like the Saiyans on the planet. Damn, I've forgotten the name of the planet. Much like the Saiyans from Universe 6 in Dragon Ball Super, who more or less do the same thing. And in that time, the young Prince Vegeta is now the new King Vegeta. Queen Cassava has stepped down from being the queen, but she still advises her son. And Vegeta still likes training with Bardock and Raditz every now and then. And as for Nappa, well, he's working on his garden. Because remember, in the Freezer Force, Nappa's job was to plant Cybermen and look after them. So it's not so much of a stretch that Nappa would be continuing his little gardening hobby and actually planting some really awesome gardens on Planet Vegeta. Hey Vegeta, don't step there, don't step on the tulips! And it's pretty comedic. And now Gine has arrived back on Planet Vegeta, and yes, she does tell Bardock that she found Kakarot, but ultimately decided it was best that Goku remained there because he's got his own life there. Bardock a bit disappointed, but he ultimately understands. The Saiyans are progressing into a more of a race where everyone's got equal stature, but they're not quite there yet. And then Gine's like, Bardock, train with me. She just says that out of the blue, and that's very, very uncharacteristic for Gine. Because remember, Gine, before going to Earth looking for Kakarot, she was just the Saiyan cook. But all these training sessions with her son has sort of stirred up her hunger for battle, and of course, she wants to show Bardock what she's learnt. And of course, Bardock is still way, way stronger than Gine. Gine is about 1300, something along that line, while Bardock in his Super Saiyan form, he's over the 2-3 million mark somewhere in his Super Saiyan form. In his normal form, he's in the maybe 1 million. Still way stronger than Gine, but Gine's learned a few new tricks, and so Bardock and Gine have a bit of a training match. Now, they haven't had a training match together since back before they first fell in love, back when Gine was a part of Bardock's crew, and Bardock saw whatever potential he saw in Gine and, fell in love with her. And this battle, even though she's still considered a weakling compared to all the other Saiyans, she's actually holding her own against her husband, who is way stronger than her. And why is that? For starters, she knows how to sense power levels, where Bardock still has to use a Scouter, and that is throwing him off. Plus, she can also suppress her real power, and that is also something that's catching her husband off guard. Gine is getting a few good shots in on her husband, and must be true love, eh? Anyway, so Bardock is actually having a hard time keeping up with Gine, because every time she disappears on him, he's looking around with the Scouter on trying to find her. And meanwhile, Gine is able to just sort of sneak in and get more attacks in, and of course surprises him with a Kamehameha! And we get a bit of a beam struggle between the two, and the fight basically ends where Bardock has suddenly disappeared and surprises her from behind and just wraps her up in a big hug from behind and says, "I think that's enough of that. You really have improved. Those are some crazy moves I saw there." So remember, Gine was also helping Roshi train Krillin and Yamcha, so she learned a few things. She learned a few of the Turtle Hermit martial arts fighting style, as well as the fighting style she learned from Kami training at the Lookout. So, which is another reason why she was able to get a lot of good moves in on Bardock. Her fighting style has changed completely, and right now, you could say Bardock has never been more attracted to his wife than what he is right now. And, well, a few months go by. Raditz, Vegeta are having their little training session with Bardock, and Queen Cassava is just sort of standing with Gine, and she's noticed Gine seems a little bigger around certain areas, and Gine is just touching her belly. There is a third Saiyan child on the way, and I think that is where we're going to leave things for now, but I will leave you with this poll. Bardock and Gine's new Saiyan child. You decide, boy or a girl. Will they have a son or a daughter this time? And we need a name. So if you really want to get involved in this and have your say, add a comment. Add a comment. Suggest a name for this new arrival into the Son family. Technically they are still part of the Son family, and whichever name gets the most likes on the YouTube comments. If you're watching this on Instagram, leave your comments as well, and your vote as well. We've got to let you guys be involved too. And And yeah, your vote could have a serious impact on where the story goes from here. Because now, things are really about to heat up. Alright, and I will catch you guys later for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you later.